Notre prochaine étoile montante is Angela Kross. She's from Concordia University. She's an expert in remote sensing with vegetation, and she's going to talk about spectral signals in forest ecosystems, how to use them and to quantify structure, biodiversity, and function. So the stage is yours. I'm going to show you this.
Oh, the minute, 1 minute. OK, bonjour tout le monde. Merci pour l'introduction, Marc, et merci pour tout vous être ici. Donc, aujourd'hui, je vais vous... OK. Merci. Je vais vous donner une présentation sur ma recherche, les données que j'utilise et la méthode que j'utilise aussi. Désolée, je n'ai pas... un slide avec mon parcours, mais je peux vous expliquer ça après. C'est des images ici sur mon site expérimentation qu'on a fait. OK, j'ai une formation multidisciplinaire en télédétection et en sciences végétales. Et dans ma recherche, j'utilise la technologie géospatiale vraiment pour mieux comprendre les écosystèmes et la façon comme ils changent dans le temps. Et une grande partie de mes recherches est vraiment sur le développement de modèles de télédétection pour estimer la propriété de la végétation. Donc, je vais parler brièvement des données que j'utilise, la méthode. Donc, j'utilise pratiquement tout type de données, de différents capteurs, de LiDAR jusqu'à l'image optique, thermique et radar. Et une grande partie de mon travail, c'est le travail sur terrain, parce qu'on doit calibrer et valider les modèles. Donc, on collecte beaucoup de données sur le terrain, sur chlorophylle, indices foliaires, biomasse, phenology, biodiversité, température, aussi des données avec le drone. Et si on n'a pas l'opportunité de collecter les données sur terrain, on utilise beaucoup de données sur des réseaux de suivi, comme le FluxNet pour le carbone, le phénocam, le néon, et aussi des données gouvernementales, provinciales et nationales. OK, c'était brièvement un peu de que j'utilise. Maintenant, je vais présenter quelques exemples. Et désolé, je vais devoir passer en anglais. Prochaine fois, je serai plus confortable pour continuer en français, mais c'est trop compliqué pour moi pour continuer ça en français. Okay, so some examples about my research. So phenology and carbon uptake, those are two core themes in my research. The question that I basically ask is, what conditions will make an ecosystem take or sequester more carbon? Like if you have a longer growing season, so with warming temperatures, earlier growing starts of the growing season, longer growing seasons, there is this hypothesis that suggests that a longer growing season will result in a higher carbon uptake. Results from research are pretty inconsistent. So the question is, when will it actually use that time, ecosystem will use that time effectively? Okay, so the question is, if the season is longer, will the ecosystem follow the yellow curve, or will it follow the red curve? So will it be able to maximize the time and accumulate as much carbon as it can or not? So in my research on peatlands, it basically showed that there is no significant relationship between the growing season length and the carbon uptake. There was an important association with climate, so warmer winters and wetter summers did increase the carbon uptake, so that would explain the difference between the yellow and the red curve. One important thing that also came out is that the peak of the carbon uptake, the gross carbon uptake, was significantly related to the net total carbon uptake. And that is important for remote sensing because we can extract the peak from a curve from vegetation indices. So moving forward is basically to explore that angle. And the example of the two images below, on the left, broadleaf forests, on the right, grasslands. The dots are carbon uptake points from flux data on the ground. The black line is Landsat, and the dotted line is a phenocam camera on the ground. So it basically shows you the association between the lines and how remote sensing could be used or not. There are limitations. There's still a lot to do on this here. Another way to estimate carbon and that I kind of focus on is using light use efficiency models, where environmental stress influences how efficiently the plants convert absorbed light into carbon. And so again, the yellow curve would reflect optimal conversion, and the red curve would reflect conversion under less than perfect conditions. And one of the questions is, how can we stratify ecosystems according to their environmental stressors? So my research on peatland actually showed that light use efficiency models performed pretty well, but there is no single model that could be applied across all the 4 sites. So these are 4 peatland sites. One is a bog, sea. All the others are different types of fens. And if you look at the figures, so black dots, that is flux epsilon, so the light use efficiency parameter. White dots, that is the model data. And so that kind of follows it pretty well for all the sites except for the bog. None of the models worked for the bog site, but each site had a different model adjusted, so it means that we need to dig more into how to stratify our ecosystems, including forest ecosystems, to develop these models. Okay, so from phenology and carbon to biodiversity, this work was done by Jennifer as part of her master's research, and the question here is, what are the key challenges and opportunities to estimate tree diversity based on a spectral diversity? The results showed both like opportunities and limitations. Opportunities were using percent conifer, like a structural metric. It did show difficulties for indices that are based on species count. So you can see in these 2 figures, species richness, each color is a different type of level of richness, so high, low, medium. And the conifer has a better separation, and it shows in the model results as well. The results from this research kind of highlighted an important remote sensing principle, which is that not all ecological variables can be detected spectrally. And so we really have to work on figuring out which variables on the ground can be detected. Like species richness, difficult, an example here on the left. If you have an image with 10 species, but they're all conifer, you will have low spectral variability. If you have an image with only 4, you will have a higher variability if there are 2 very different species, like broadleaf and conifer. So it's just to always be careful when we use remote sensing that it's always related, it can be related physically, structurally, biochemically with the measures on the ground. Okay, from boreal forest to the Amazon rainforest. This research was done by Jan, who was part of his master's research with me. Oh yeah, just to remember, so Jennifer will present later on some following research on this in the remote sensing section. So this was in the Amazon forest in Suriname. Suriname is my native country, happens to be my native country. A lot of illegal mining going on there, very terrible. And the study was on mapping or quantifying the impacts from gold mining on the forest cover, the structure, and the phenology. And so different perspectives. So the ground level perspective, then you see an aerial figure, that's that one. And this would be a Landsat satellite. So you can really see it. It's like a disease. Like the river turns into this ugly thing here with all those mines. It involved like a classification and reclassification to be able to get the mining areas, and then we were able to map the change, so over 500% of increase over 20 years. So if you see the left side, a few red dots on top, and here you have these red dots spread out over the area. A lot of mercury is used in this, so it's an actual serious problem. So I will finish then with an example back here in the northern hemisphere, showing you how remote sensing can be used to support nature-based solutions and ecosystem services, basically. This study was led by Ling Shan as part of her PhD work with me, but also with Carly Sitter, who is also a CEF member, and with Ursula Aker. So basically, on the left, you see the distribution of the green spaces in Montreal. This here is a result from a model by census tract to show the cooling supply. The dark areas are where you have higher supply. The yellow areas are where you have lower supply. But then the cooling is not only about supply, it's also about demand. So in this next option here, it shows demand included, where the red hotspot show you basically, oh wow, okay. Show you red hotspots, higher demand than supply, blue is lower demand than supply. So this helps planners to basically target their planting, tree planting. Okay, we're at the last slide. So for my future research, basically to continue in this area, it's all ecosystems, forests including, but I also look at agriculture and peatlands and urban vegetation and forest. Looking at phenology still, light use efficiency, and biodiversity. I have a special interest to continue work on mining. So this is an example in Suriname, an industrial mine in this case, but there is a village there, like it's just surrounded by a mine, and the river is the main source of livelihood there. So my next question is, how is mining affect really the quality of water? I'm not sure if this is here an issue, probably not as bad as it looks here, but it will be one of the things I would want to continue to work on as well. Thank you.
That's really interesting.
Thank you.
Work. Thanks.